from your
Just
vantage
want you to
point.
listen to this.
And do you know if anybody else was potentially injured?
Yes. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm still at the rally. It's all very chaotic. But I was in the front row, and President Trump had just announced me and had suggested I come up, invited me to come up on the stage, and then he said, no, he'll have him come up in a minute or two. And then there were a number of shots, and the crowd just sort of, went to the ground, and the Secret Service came and, very quickly tackled the president. But there were 7 or 8 shots, and it was hard to tell whether they came from one direction or from 2 different weapons. It wasn't clear. At least I couldn't tell. And
did you hear what he said?
Sadly,
he couldn't tell whether it was one gunshot from one direction or another.
A lot of blood, and the police came in and helped carry that person out of the stand so they could get the care they needed. I'm not sure if others were injured or not. It was all, as you might imagine, very chaotic. But it was a very scary moment, obviously, because our president and innocent bystanders were under siege.
Yeah, sir, can you tell us how many people had gathered there today? It looked like quite the turnout. And also, can you just take us through what you saw from your perspective? Did it come from your left side or your right side, or where was it in relation to where you were located?
Yeah, I don't, it was an enormous crowd. I had asked a number of law enforcement officers, and they had said something around 15,000. So I don't know if that's an official number, but it was certainly huge. And it just kept coming and coming. It was building throughout the day. It's hard to tell, but at least some of the shots, I was sitting to President Trump's right as he was facing the crowd, and I was in the front row. It felt like some of the shots came from his left side, which would make sense because someone behind me was hit. So it felt like at least some came from that side of the crowd. And as I said, I couldn't tell whether it was one gun or 2, but there were 7 or 8 shots, just one right after another.
Well, and Dave, I mean, you're an Iraq War vet. You have served us in uniform voluntarily.
So, this is to Bigj. He said he couldn't tell it was more than one gun shooting. That he said it sounded like it was coming from different directions.